to try to make themselves look good, but they are already looking good. But the thing is, for them, they feel it's still not enough. They still feel that they have to do something to themselves that to make them look similarly or much better compared to their peers. These are the norm, the usual thing that's happening because of due to social media and things like that. So they have a lot of competitions out there. So how do you advise teenagers like this? Sometimes they go drastic, they try to do things which is very drastic. Say they control their food. Then when you advise them to eat, they get agitated. They just don't like people telling them what they're supposed to be doing. They feel like they're being pressured in every angle. They feel they're being pressured because they feel that their competition is with their friends, and they feel that no matter how much they try, and they are still not good enough. And when the parents are trying to advise them, they feel the parents are, it's like a burden. The parents is like burdening them, forcing them to eat, asking them to do this, asking them, they feel it's a burden. But the parents are merely concerned of how they are, and despite telling them that they are good, they are really good in their studies, really looking good, but coming from the parents, they are not happy. They feel that parents are just saying it just to make them happy, but they feel the competition is out there. So how do you advise children like this? Something like a psychological thing that has affected them tremendously, that they feel that whatever they hear, whatever positive things that they hear from the parents is not enough. They feel that they still need to do something even more. And so they take a lot of negative, drastic actions towards themselves. And then in the end, it becomes like, they are losing weight, they are looking very dull and tired and things like that. So how do you advise like that? I mean, as parents, when we see them, we are worried, we are worried what's going to happen. But for them, they feel it's a burden. Why is the parent telling me to do this? Why is it telling this? How do you advise for teenagers like this? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your concern, actually. I really understand what you meant. And this is a common thing everywhere. Even recently, I talked to the youth in Canada and America, and the same concern from parents, because children they don't listen to parents most of the time. So, well, at this point, I'm focusing on children or teenagers here, and I would like to humbly request to these our children, uh, dear children, so you have to be very wise. And when parents talk to you, and when parents advise you, don't take that as a disturbance or the bothering to you, because we still kids, we still children, and parents, they have come a long way until today, and they have such good experiences of the life, and they do whatever good for us and with their experiences. So therefore, my advice is to children, we need to be very kind. See, sometimes we spend time with people who we haven't seen from the other side of the world. Like being in Malaysia, currently actually I'm in Sri Lanka. Being in Malaysia, you can chat with a friend who lives in America or Canada or UK or in Europe, wherever in the world. And you worry about their concerns, and you worry about how they live and what happened to them and how they eat and how they survive. You haven't seen them, and you haven't get any support, and you don't live because of them, and you just chat with them and you just talk to them. But see, who supports you to live and who support you to survive, that's your parents. Then if you have any concern, any worrying, any trouble, any worrying about your friends who's unknown, you haven't seen, and But you must prioritize your suffering, you must prioritize your worrying to your parents than your unknown friends, because your parents are the first friends ever for the children, who support and who give the enough and biggest and enormous support for us to live. Therefore, I highly request to our kids, our children, please concern about your parents. I feel that mother's voice, and she uh, expressed that her kind of worrying and suffering about these children, because she's concerning about your weight, about your mind, about your body, about your behaviors, and about your future. And we have to really concern about that situation, because if we really respect to our parents, we have to listen to them. In the other hand, I know sometimes mothers are mothering, and sometimes it is bothering for us, because we feel it's kind of noisy, because they always ask to do, ask to eat, ask to not to sleep, ask to not to play. But that's normal, that's the mother. And mostly fathers kept silent and they don't say anything, and they just spend time alone. And sometimes fathers are very, very hard more than the mothers. And my understanding is we have to understand, and even children, so these teenagers, you are grown people. You're grown people, and you have learned many things in the world, and you have to be wise. You have to be wise. You have to take care of your parents, and you have to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of your studies, and you have to think first who you are and what you want. And we don't have time to just spend. Think about this. How about if the coronavirus come to us? Can we run away? No, we have to face it. Then we have to work together. Even at this point, being at home, who supports to you? That's your parents. So what you eat, how you survive, because the parents have earned something, saved something, then that support us. So they are worthy of respect from children. They are worthy of gratitude from children, because you still survive from parents. But until you survive by yourself, then you have to work with your parents. Also, don't forget, I'm telling this out of compassion towards our children. And one day when you go out to live your own, then that is your responsibility to take care of